Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Is it working? Good morning. Okay, all right, now we got chats here. Wonderful. Yeah, the app was crashing. I don't know why. The YouTube app has been having some big troubles. Yesterday, some of you might have noticed that Peter and I were live streaming in Akihabara, and then, yeah, I had to start the stream over, so I guess the YouTube app needs an update. I got my morning coffee here. It is 8:37 in the morning, so I'm a couple minutes late. My apologies. Now I'm ready. Now I'm ready. And then most of the people are watching is from up on the West Coast. You're in Montreal. I see Danny's here. Welcome. UFO Bob is here. Patrick, how you doing? Accepted. Awesome. Eric. Solares. Taylor. Tasty's here. Wonderful. Oh, Tasty, here I have the... I think I sent you this one, right? This one in the daimyo package, and then I finally found one mask. It kind of looks like this, so you wear it like this, and then you know how it goes, right? You take the beans out, and then people chase the devil, and they throw the beans at him. That's setsubun, and we also eat a big maki sushi roll. I think I did something on this last year. It was a big roll. But good morning, Deborah's here. How you doing, Deborah? Yeah, the last few days have been extremely busy, and we got a lot to catch up on. So the channel is doing extremely well. This has been an amazing year so far. I've had, over the last 2 weeks, so many proposals that I put in 2018 that were waiting and waiting and waiting came through, and many of them were approved for filming. So that means it's really exciting. One of them was drive-through ramen with my buddy Dean. We're going to be filming that probably next week. Another proposal that went through was another Wagyu episode, a barbecue up in the north of Tokyo, which is out in Ibaraki Prefecture, which is amazing. So there's so many wonderful shows that I'm going to be filming already. So it's been so positive this year. The Kickstarter DVD is finished for those who backed that one. The funny thing is, though, this project is the biggest thing that's been weighing me down for years, and just it's been a weight on me because of all of how big it's been. The video is like 2.5 hours long, and I went in to go and print the DVD, and then the guy said, "Do you want DVD or Blu-ray?" And I said, "What's different now?" And he goes, "In the last 2 years, the prices of the Blu-rays have gone down, so now that's an option too. So I have to ask the community over there if they want Blu-rays. The only problem is Blu-rays sometimes are notoriously bad with region control and things like this, but in the most part, it should be it should be an easy decision. High definition is better than standard definition." Oh boy. What else has been going on here? Influenza is all over Tokyo right now. Peter's wife had the flu. A lot of Kanai's friends have the flu. Kanai might have the flu. I don't know. She's been feeling it up and down, and I'm trying to be careful too because I got a lot of work coming up. There's so much stuff going on. I'm like running like this, and I'm not going anywhere. There's so many things going on. Okay. The last thing I think I wanted to talk to you about was our Patreon trip. A couple of things. There's a Discord server that was set up by one of our patrons. Awesome guy who's been with our Patreon page for well over, I think it was like 15 months now. I don't know, Keith. I gotta check, but one of the kindest people that I know. He set up this Discord server for us, and I gave the link to Dimitri, and if you're interested in Discord, you can email me, direct message me, and I will give you the address to accept the Discord server, and then I get to talk with Keith about how to use it, because I'm not a Discord user, but everyone is really excited about that. But it's up and running, and this is so cool. So if you want an invitation to it, just ask me, and then I'll see about making it available to everybody. So right now it's just sort of a test run between people. I said I would help you. Yes, thank you so much. I could use all the help I can get. Dimitri also said he would help me. Dimitri is from New York City. If you remember from the meetup, he's like, Discord server. So Dimitri, we got it running. I just don't know what I'm doing with it. So once I figure that out, we're gonna have more interaction, I think, with the Patreon page, which is awesome. I don't know how I'm gonna set it up with permissions on the page. So before it becomes public with that, I have to ask Keith what I can do with the Discord server. Oh, that's so good. Thank you for the coffee. This is today Hawaiian coffee. Yeah, this is the Kona coffee from Hawaii, and it's so good. So shout outs to our friends in Hawaii who are probably still asleep, because they're I think they're asleep. No, or is it morning? I don't do too many live streams at 8:30 in the morning, so it's nice to hit different time zones. All right, let's get right to it. I'm gonna go into the questions, and if you have any questions here, you can help me. Okay, TSS Killer. That is Dimitri. I know, right? Okay, Dimitri, yeah. So I have not forgotten, and I think I sent you an invitation already, Dimitri, so I definitely need the help. Thanks. I was wondering who TSS Killer was. Alright, we got all these messages here. So let me go to the ones that I asked for in the post. I always go back to the people who asked the questions, and I'm going to be making this video viewable to the people who are paying $1, the welcome level. And then, I don't think, hold on, let me lower the brightness. There you go. Nice. I'm going to make it available to the welcome level as soon as this one is done. That is maybe like a day later, because the welcome level has been asking to have access to the live streams, and I always think that it should be something that's exclusive for the samurai, because they need something for that level. So post, where did it go here? Yeah, the live stream with Peter was a lot of fun yesterday. Did you see that yesterday? It was a lot of fun. I'm always surprised. Okay, there's the Daimyo packages. Where's that post gone? A heads up live stream with Peter. Oh, that was a while ago, wasn't it? I announced this one. Yeah, I gave you some advance notice for this one. I hope the schedule's okay. I always get that wrong for our friends in California. Caroline, I'm very sorry about the last time. I tried to be extra careful this time. And then after we go through these questions really quickly, I'll be going in and out to Skype. In fact, if you are online on Skype and you would like to talk and call in, you can see my extremely messy apartment in this direction. You can go ahead and just send me a chat, and we'll queue you up so that when you do want to call in, you'll be ready. The other thing is, if you don't have my, so Vern, I can see you typing here. That's UFO Bob. So if you don't have my Skype address, send me a direct message and I will give it to you through there. Yeah. So there's, okay, awesome, cool. So I will queue you up there. Just send me a chat, let you're ready, and then I will queue you up. I'm gonna while we're doing for that, and we're waiting for more people to come online. Right now we have 17 people. I will go through the questions. Load more questions. 21 of 30. Why isn't it not loading? Sometimes Patreon is not good. You feel like that too? Sometimes Patreon is just like one step away from being really awesome, but it's not there yet. Alright, we're going to go hear from Vern, UFO Bob. First of all, Vern, thank you so much for the live stream. I don't think I had a chance between the times to say that was really awesome. What JKO Adventures and Tasty Chronicles did was really cool in Southern California. Kanai and I were watching it on our Apple TV over there. Seeing you guys it seemed like full HD. The quality was really good, Vern. For those thinking of moving to Japan, can you recommend resources for learning how to set up things like finding an apartment, turning on the utilities and the internet, getting health insurance, registering with the city where you all live? I'm open to asking this question via Skype. I have on now. Yeah. Let's go over this through Skype. Vern, I think that's a pretty good one to answer. So if you're interested in this, and I think a lot of people are, just stay tuned to that. Let me get to the other questions, and I'm gonna try to do this like really fast because I'm always really long. Kiki writes in, "Hello John and everyone here in the community." I love that. It's just short and sweet. Thanks, Kiki. Nice to see you again. I love sending out the postcards. When I see people's names, I know exactly like when I made the postcard for everybody. That's great. Oh, this is the thing. Yeah, here's the postcard from last month. I can remember like sitting here going like this and adding the postcard. It's like, oh, it's Kiki. That's who I sent the postcard to. All right, Tuotaku link. All right, I think you're watching now, right? Nina's watching. Taylor, besides water, are there any Japanese drinks that are no sugar, no caffeine, and like caffeine-free Diet Coke, which is not very good for you, by the way. All of the Cokes in general. Inspired by your videos, go to Japan, and I'm arriving February. That's great, Taylor. It's awesome that you're finally making it in Japan. Sorry to hear about the allergy season. Yeah, allergy season is really bad in Tokyo, and it's just because of the way the city is cut and the trees that they planted after World War II, and those trees are now mature, and they're just giving a bunch of pollen off, and it's awful. But I think you'll be fine. Whenever you get a chance to come to Japan, never mind the pollen, you just gotta go. Now, what caffeine-free drinks? Caffeine-free drinks. I don't know. It's a hard one. Monster would not qualify. Gretchen is shaking her head. Gosh. I think there are some, but there's a lot of sugar drinks though. That's the problem. If it doesn't have one, it doesn't have the other. Water is the best one. There's a boom right now. Japan always has trends. And the trend right now is tansansui, which is carbonated water. It's like a soda water without any salt. Tansansui is just carbonated water, like from the soda stream. And I often just buy that. And I'm seeing this more and more in vending machines. And I stopped drinking Coca-Cola and sugar drinks entirely because I never really cared about the sugar. I just wanted the bubbles. So this tansansui, I've been drinking it for years. I get it from Costco because it's so cheap there. It's just so heavy to carry back. But other than that, I can't think of any. They do have decaf coffee now in cans. Georgia has this, and I don't know. Sports drinks all have sugar in it. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Taylor, if I do another Go stream by a vending machine, I'm gonna see what other things they have and see if I can answer that question in a Go stream. But yeah, definitely chat and remind me too. But I think that's something that I can remember. Vending machine episodes people have been asking for a while. Eric writes in, "Hi John, have you heard of Karatsu Kunchi Festival? Is the largest in the Karatsu area and been held between the 2nd and 4th of November every year." I really haven't heard about this, the Karatsu Kunchi Festival. I don't know, Eric. And I love these let's see what we can find here. Oh, that picture's too small. It takes place in Saga Prefecture. There's the festival, the Gata Olympics, which is this mud festival, is something I was thinking of going down there to do. But this one, I'm not sure. I wish there was bigger pictures. This looks pretty cool. There are so many. There are too many festivals. Usually, the city, in order for me to cover a festival, I ask that the city give me permission to film, like Miyazaki did with the Hadaka Matsuri, the Naked Man Festival. If they don't give me permission to film, I'm not really bringing you anything different than what you can already find on YouTube. I have to kind of personalize it. But if Saga Prefecture, I haven't talked with Saga. That's one of the prefectures that I haven't gotten in touch with, but I filmed there. I just haven't uploaded an episode of Kakiyamon, which is a porcelain that they make down there for hundreds of years. And I know the Kakiyamon, the guy, the family Kakiyamon, I know him. He's the 15th generation of his family. It says so on his business card. It says Kakeyamon 15. That's so cool. But I filmed him, interviewed him, and filmed his ceramics and porcelain, and I should go back to Saga. Thanks for this update. I didn't know about this festival, so it's on my radar now. But the Gata Olympics is another one. It's the Olympics held in mud down in Saga. Should be pretty cool. Nicholas, welcome Nicholas. Just a few questions. From what I seem to have found, there should be a Chinese Lantern Festival on March 2nd in Yokohama. There's a lot of them actually. Have you ever seen it? I haven't seen this one, but I know there's a lot of them, and they're pretty colorful and a lot of fun. I've heard that Miura Kaigan cherry blossoms would be bloom late in early February. Early February is not cherry blossoms, but it could be here. But in early February you have ume. Ume blossoms are usually a little bit purpler or pinker, and they bloom before all of them. They bloom. They're usually the early bloomers, but they're ume or plum blossoms, and the cherry blossoms come out in I think they're about March 17th this year. They're saying it's gonna be early for sure because of all the sunshine we're getting as well. It's gonna be early for sure. So, but I didn't know about this. We'll be in Tokyo from the 22nd of February to March 5th, so you will get a chance to see some flowers, and yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do to get a meetup. So thanks, Nicholas. Richard Delzar, hey Richard, hi John. Any chance to meet up in Tokyo during the Rugby World Cup? I'm sure I will be doing a meetup. I will be doing a meetup in Tokyo. I don't even know if I might even go to some of the venues, but I knew somebody from the Rugby World Cup, and we were gonna do an episode on Kamaishi City up north, but it never fell through, and I guess they're doing okay with the PR. They had a big PR nightmare. I think the Rugby World Cup gave the contract to Dentsu, which is a big. I know a lot of information on this, inside information. I think they gave most of the contract to Dentsu, which didn't know what to do with it. So they just basically took like millions of dollars and did very little with it. And then a guy that I know came from Australia, whose wife is Japanese, but he was based in Hong Kong, an investment broker who used to be a rugby player, a big guy. He got really upset, and he just took over the project, and then it started going really well. I think you have to be in love with Japan and rugby and not be Japanese agency in order to promote something like this. But it was doing really bad, but now it's doing good. Any other chances to do the coverage of the Seattle Mariners in Tokyo? I don't know. That's hard to get access, and I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna film it normally, but it might be worth. I get a connection with Japanese baseball, and I can ask him about this. Because that'd be pretty cool. Thanks, Richard. Jason, possible suggestion for Patreon funded trip would be go to the north of Hokkaido. I was gonna see about doing this too, to do something on Ainu, which not a lot of YouTubers have done. But to do it, it's hard. It's hard because I went to the Ainu village in Hokkaido, and it was in such bad shape. And I made a video about it. The bear being mistreated. I thought the bear was gonna die. And then I heard from the video, I don't know if it was a result of it, that a town in the UK decided to buy the bear from the Ainu park and take care of it in the UK. So that bear from that Ainu park that looked like it was in a really bad situation is actually transported to the UK, and I believe is there by now, which is kind of a pretty cool backstory to it. But I was not happy with the Ainu people not that they had a choice, they just have the funds maybe in order to take care of a bear, and had it in a cage like it was 200 years ago, and that shocked a lot of viewers. It shocked me. I paid for a biscuit, and the biscuit came down to his cage, and it didn't even move its head. Oh man, I felt really bad. But to do something about Ainu people in history would be really cool. Richard, that's a great suggestion. Elizabeth Wood, I'm planning a trip to Tokyo in October. I wonder if you have any local information on the current state of Airbnb in Tokyo. I don't have any current information because I live in my own apartment, but from what I hear, people are finding Airbnb, and they're not having any problems whatsoever. Just the amount of Airbnb is decreased, which is not a bad thing because there were a lot of bad experiences too. It was new to Japan and there were growing pains and people were complaining and the government cracked down on it because the hotel lobby is strong, just like the taxi lobby. And I don't think that there are any problems. When my friends Dan and Lincoln from What's Inside came to Japan, they came with their family last spring. And they stayed in an Airbnb, which was 3 floors. And everybody had their own room, and they had an amazing balcony on the roof. And it was just a lot of... it was just really cool. It wasn't... It was cheaper than a hotel, but more expensive than I would pay. So, but they got like 7 million subscribers on their channel, so that's different. They're making big bucks. But yeah, Airbnb looks like it's doing good. And Taylor wrote in that I used Booking.com and booked hotels in Asakusa. Yeah, I always recommend, and this is just for the 21 people and our Patreons, I always recommend the Gate Hotel in Asakusa. Is a little bit more, but you cannot beat the location. It's across the street. It's undervalued for its location. It's undervalued for its location. It's undervalued for, I think, what you get. It's a pretty clean, good hotel across the street from Kaminarimon, and it's not far from the station. And there's a Starbucks in the building for coffee drinkers, and you can see the Tokyo Sky Tree from the lobby and the veranda, and it's an awesome place. The Gate Hotel, that's where my family stays when they come to visit, and that it's a really good hotel chain, and they have they speak English. But it's a little bit more than $85 a night, but it's so worth it. Sunny writes in here, Tasty Chronicles. Tutak will beat me to the question. Tutak is really fast. However, what are the general thoughts on the Crown Prince Naruhito who will take over as emperor? Yeah, that's coming up, and to me it's not, to non-Japanese it's not such a big deal, but to Japanese it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. People aren't as excited, I think, but we don't know him as well. I don't know. He seems not as exciting as his father, but his father lived through really tough times in Japan. So now he's the first one who's a baby boomer, and we will see. But people are very positive. The emperor is somebody who's very important to Japan because it's like the Queen of England, but in a different way. When there's uncertainty or things are not going well with the country or a tragedy has happened, it's the emperor who can bring people together with words that just sort of transcend with real kindness. And it's not what you think, you know. In World War II, the emperor was like, I still don't know exactly, we'll never really know exactly what happened, but he was sort of like conned or had to go along with this militarization, but the emperor has always been somebody who transcended like all this and was above it all, and it's still like that today, but of course on a completely different level. It's not like godlike, it's more like human-like god or human-like top, but not in a rich way. Even though you're given a lot for what they do, they also have a lot of assets. I don't know how they got them, but for me, it's not a big deal, but for Japanese, it's huge because the year will change, as a lot of you know. It's now Heisei period, and after the Heisei period, we don't know what it's going to be called yet. It's been 31 years of Heisei, and before that, it was the Showa period. I think it was like 64 years of Showa. So this is, in each reign of the emperor has a name for the years. Showa was the emperor's father, and now the emperor now is Heisei, and then when he abdicates, it's going to be a new era, and that's huge, okay? I'm excited. I came here in Heisei 10, all right? I know exactly, like, Heisei. I was born in Showa 49. Like, I know based on period and the year of the reign, that's how Japanese do dates, actually, still today. More so than 1999 or 2016. They use Heisei and Showa and Taisho and Meiji. So they have this, it's like Meiji was, everyone knows Meiji Restoration, so it's a big deal. I still don't know how we all feel about this Nida and Sunny. We will see. It's something I might cover in a live stream as well. I think that'd be pretty good, or a main channel episode, because there's a lot of unknownness about it, and nobody's produced like an authoritative video on it, so it's something I'd be interested in doing. Leslie writes in, I'm coming back to Japan in August. I would love to go to the Hiroshima Carp game. So would I. I used to go to the Carps all the time when they weren't so popular and in the stadium in the city, and now they're super popular because they're good. I heard convenience store sells tickets. I think you can get them online as well. I'm really not sure about it. That might be a good episode, how to get tickets in Japan for stuff. But convenience stores, I buy my airplane tickets at convenience stores. I'll make the reservation on JAL online, and I'll go and pay for the tickets at the convenience store. So if you don't want to pay by credit card, you can pay at the convenience store, and they take, I think it's like $202, but you get peace of mind, and you can get the receipt, which you need for businesses. But JKO Adventures answered it. So they deliver tickets to your hotel, which is awesome. Japanese baseball is reaching out to foreign visitors as well because they want to pack the stadiums, and that's a great way to do it. King Wong writes in, hey King, greetings out of impulse. I've purchased tickets to go to Osaka. Awesome. During February. Oh yeah, February 8th to February 16th, so 8 days. Can you recommend a few places of interest during the winter in the Kansai region to me? That's hard. Just for winter, didn't do much research. I just bought the plane ticket. That's how you should travel. You're like, where do I want to go on my next vacation? Let's just go to Japan. Book it. Go. Gosh, and you should get some pretty good deals. You of course got to go to Kyoto. But it's gonna be cold out there, even though I think you want to, in the winter the foods are different, and you can always focus on foods. I always like to go south, and even though you're coming in through Kansai, you could always grab a flight and go to a cheap flight from a low-cost carrier, and then just continue on to Okinawa too. Is pretty cool if you do think the cold is too much, but if you want to see snow, you're gonna have to go further north. The snow starts around Sendai, really, or into the mountains. But you've never visited anywhere in winter. Usually, I think in the winter, for me, it's all about the onsen and the ryokan, because I love to sit outside in the hot baths in the winter because the air is cold, and the food is usually at the onsens. At the ryokan, they're going to serve like nabe and sukiyaki and really hot food. So to me, that's sort of what I like to do in the winter. Other things that are popular are skiing. I don't know if you ski, but a lot of people will go skiing in the winter, and Nagano is a big place for that. There's some places, I believe there's some ski areas, Yonago, which is Totori. So if you're coming in Kansai, it's a pretty nice train ride to go to the other side of the Sea of Japan side, and you can see Daisen, which is the Mount Fuji of the east. Sorry, Mount Fuji of the west. Yeah, Mount Fuji of the west, which is worth seeing. I can't. There's also the Naked Man Festival, which is in Okayama. You might want to go and see that. I think you might be coming at the right time, 8 to 16. That's the one where that's my first episode. Saidaiji Okayama. Let me see when the next Naked Man Festival is. I'm kind of curious now. Okayama travel. Let's try it. Yeah, this is the Naked Man Festival where there's 10,000 dudes fighting it out. It does not say. But that might be something you want to search into. I remember the website is not good. The website is not very good with the dates every year. But there's some guides on how to do it. A lot of foreigners are getting into it too. You can see there's a couple of white dudes. Yeah, if you want more information, hit me up, King, by email on the direct mail Patreon. Clifford, just 2 questions. Do you think Japan will ever get back to the Kuril Islands? I don't know. Abe-san is promising them. The Russians are like in their TV shows just laughing at the Japanese like Putin's never going to give them up. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it. It's a political thing. I would love to go and visit anyways. If it's Russian or Japanese, I would love to go visit. How come there are no statues of Gamera? He saved Japan. quite a few times. I don't know if there isn't any statues, but these are good questions, Clifford. I wish I could answer you. I'm not sure. I'll look into it. And Jawata Takashi writes in, do you think Japan will be very busy before the Olympics? Yeah. Say like during Christmas? No. Christmas is never... I'm trying to load more comments, Nosh. It's not working. I'm gonna read this. I don't think it's gonna be... I think the Olympics are gonna be busy with tourists coming because... Not because the Olympics are coming, but because more people are hearing, as a result of the Olympics, more people are hearing about Japan and wanting to come. And that's really great. Japan was a place that nobody really wanted to come. And now everybody wants to come. And I'm so happy about it. But there's also been so much stress on the locals, especially in Tokyo, with foreigners who don't know anything, which is fine. But they have to adjust. So there's some people that are really upset, but they're learning to adjust to the different life. And Japan needs foreign tourists. I have to be honest with you. The population is shrinking. Foreign tourists make up a huge gap in the economy, and it's becoming bigger and bigger. It's just that when you say foreign tourists, 80% of them come from China. And of that, Taiwan and Hong Kong are pretty big as well. Hong Kong is China, but it's different, all right? People from Hong Kong travel differently than people from mainland China. But even the mainland Chinese are starting to get better as travelers generally. Just as Americans are sometimes... I have friends that talk about the American travelers. I'm like, oh, it's okay. They're so friendly. Don't worry. They might be loud, but I'm loud too, so it's okay. So thanks for these questions. I'm gonna try to answer more, but let's get to a Skype call. I don't know why I can't get these other questions to come up. It says 3 out of 5. Okay, all right, I got it now. I got it. Sunny writes in, I'm looking forward to the Daimyo box. I hope you got it by now. Everybody seemed to have gotten it. Jason got his, enjoying the packages. Thank you, Jason. I really appreciate it. I believe when Peter says Canadian Jason, he's talking about you. I believe he is. So I'm always like, yeah, I know Jason. I know Jason. Joanne writes in, I just walked through the door and the Daimyo box was up there. Oh, this is a Daimyo box one. Sorry, wrong one. I just saw 2 Otaku and Sunny, and I'm like, oh, this is it. It's not it. Wow, there are a lot more questions. I can't load them all. It's weird, I can't load them all. Alright, anyways, let's get to the Skype calls. Let's go with Solers really quickly. I would love to call him today and ask a short question. Oh. I put that on because the FBI might be watching. Somebody told... I don't know. I put that on because the FBI might be watching. Somebody told... Hey!
Hey, ohayo gozaimasu.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
Not today.
Yeah, you can see out my window it is actually bright and sunny.
Oh no, it's okay. My window right next to me is bright. It is a wonderful 9:11 in the morning here in Tokyo. So
okay, wonderful.
You can relate.
Yeah. Good morning. So, what's your question this morning?
So I understand that it took you some time to learn Japanese because it's an incredibly difficult language. When you speak Japanese, do you find yourself thinking in English and translating it, or do you just think in Japanese?
That's such a good question. Because I never spoke another language really before I got to Japan, so I never thought I'd be one of those people who could speak another language. I'm not fluent by any means. My Japanese is dirty, and nobody corrects me. But that's okay. I call it conversational, not fluent. I don't think. That's the thing. I don't even think about it. They become just habits and phrases in chunks of phrases that I say that I remember from hearing it from people who who speak quite often, and saying it myself over and over again. So I'm just reacting now. So I don't translate in my mind anymore. But that took a long time before I got to that stage. I think, wow. And I didn't learn in Japanese for the first 2-3 years. I didn't speak anything because I was teaching English, and they discouraged you to even learn the language because people who spoke any Japanese were considered worse teachers. Because then if you could speak Japanese and the students know it, then they would speak Japanese to you and fall back that way. So I didn't learn it for 2 years, and I just started to pick up grammar books and learn it by myself, and then talk to old ladies in Mr. Donuts. The old ladies are pretty strict though. They were the best teachers. But the problem was they started talking like old ladies, which is not that cool. But it took a really long time, and now I don't think about it. Me and my wife, we speak mostly Japanese, and she gets angry, like, why don't you ever teach me English? And I say, そうだね、なんでだろう? And because I said, we could speak English in America and then Japanese in Japan, but if we have kids, it'll have to be English. I'll have to speak English more.
Mm-hmm.
How are you learning your Japanese?
I'm taking classes. I've actually got a copy of Genki myself over there.
Okay. How are the classes going? I never took a class before. I never took a lesson.
It's interesting. I feel like I'm being skipped over a lot because there are some people who are a little bit more advanced than me who wanted an easier experience at first.
Yeah.
So they're kind of blasting ahead of me and making it difficult for those of us who are less advanced in Japanese. But I'm doing my best. I'm just studying as much as I can and praying that I didn't miss anything.
Yeah. I think, the thing with English, what makes learning Japanese makes me appreciate English so much. Because it's a language where it stresses just communication. There's no polite form of it, right? But in Japanese, when you make mistakes, a lot of people who don't speak Japanese go, wow, you speak Japanese. And then the Japanese would get all over me like, wow, how rude you are to ask in that way. I'm like, I don't know, I'm American. I'm still who I am, I keep my culture of being pretty casual even in Japanese. But speaking properly is really important here. And hanashikata, like the way you speak also is the way, it also represents who you are, too. Now, I got a personality that's a lot more direct and outgoing and smiley and bubbly, so I can kind of get away with it. But if you're more reserved, like the Japanese, the way you speak is actually more like your calling card, too, of who's behind that business card. So it's in Japanese for sure. Wow. I got a lot of questions for you, too, because your experience is different than mine, because I never went to school. But for me...
Well, I mean, I know you're busy, but if you ever have time, I mean, I'm in Tokyo every day.
Yeah.
If you'd like to grab lunch or something, I'd love to work something out with you.
Yeah, sure, cool. That'd be a lot of fun. I got a lot of questions because everybody who lives here in Japan has a different kind of experience. They have different routes, different roads, and all of my friends have been here for like mostly 10 to 30 years now, because not a lot of people stay in Tokyo for very long or in Japan for very long. They stay for a couple of years and they leave. Then there's the rest of us who've been here. Some of my friends were here during the bubble era, and when we go out drinking, we hear some stories like, whoa, I wish I was here in the 1980s. Like, I can't believe what Japan was like. I saw the end of the 90s, but the 1980s was insane. But yeah, sure.
I'm fresh face. I've only been here, I've been living here since the beginning of the month, so I'm still very, very new into it. But I don't like getting ahead of myself, but it's not as radical as a lot of people hyped it up to be. Like they were like, oh, it's so scary. Oh, Japan, people, you're gonna hate it, and they don't treat foreigners very well. I haven't had any bad experiences yet.
Yeah, I think there's so many misconceptions, isn't there? Like
I took a train last weekend. I did one of those. I had one of those days where I got on the train. I'm like, where am I gonna go? I don't know where I'm gonna go. So I went to Ikebukuro, and I saw the Saikyo line. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go up to Omiya. And I'm in train, and the next thing I know, I'm in Takataki. And I kept going, and I went all the way up to Minakami in Gunma Prefecture because I saw the mountains. I'm like, I want to see the mountains.
Minakami is where Takaragawa Onsen is.
Yes. Actually, I have that right here.
Yeah, Minakami.
Let me tell you, it was very interesting getting my postcard from you because the blue things. and you had to like etch in the last number of my address on my postcard.
It just didn't fit in there, but I wanted to do it right. And then there was it's the post office that told me to scratch off the airmail because it would confuse the. I guess it's all electronic, but it would confuse it. And I said, how do I do that? He says, if you just put two polite lines over it, it works. That's the Japanese. If you ever make a mistake, you go whoosh, whoosh, and then sign it or something, right? Yeah, on an official document. I'm glad it made it though too, yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really glad too, because when I got here, I was like, okay, what's my address? Go on Patreon, gotta get it fixed, you know. But when I was on the train, I think the only experience that I've had that was only a little bit bad was I was sitting on the train and I was just getting funny looks from people, and the immediately adjacent seats to me were open and people were standing. I'm like, okay, you know, not a big deal. It's not like anyone has been like, oh, no foreigners or anything like that. And I didn't expect that, especially in Tokyo. But I don't like getting ahead of myself. But I think that unless something drastic happens, I don't think I will see myself leaving anytime soon.
Good. Yeah. I think Japan is a place that you either love it or hate it. It's very much like India because the culture is so different and rich. But yeah, but actually, I was the exception though. I didn't know if I wanted to stay at all. I took it year by year. I'm surprised I'm still here. I came here with a friend of mine, my roommate, who was into Japanese culture. He used to sleep on a futon in college. He was like, "What are you doing? You know, you're weird. Why don't you get a bed?" He'd read the Japanese Playboys. He's one of those, you know, one of those. It's fun for me because I've been here for so darn long. I forget what it was like when I came here too. It was a completely different world back then.
Well, absolutely. I'll shoot you a message on Patreon, and we'll see what we can iron out.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for calling.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Awesome. Yeah, that's great. You know, I think when people come and they move here to Japan, it's you all of a sudden all the conceptions that you had about Japan start to come in the foreground. Like, is this what it's not exactly what you thought it would be like. And then that's when people have to make the decision, now do I even stay? Like, and then that's when people have to make the decision, now do I even stay? Because when you get deeper and deeper into the procedures and the housing, into all the other stuff, it's not for everybody. But visiting here is always good. Vern, I am good to go anytime, Vern. Anytime, Vern. What do you think? What do you think, Vern? I just call people random. I just call. There he is. There he is. Alright, I can see you. I can't hear it. I got the audio on. No sound yet, Vern. Everyone has done the Skype shuffle, right? Where you have to say, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" The Skype shuffle. We can't hear you. It's okay. Take your time.
Patreon, and we'll see what we can iron out.
Cool. All right.
What I did was I took out my headphones.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry about that.
I think it's right. I think the actual YouTube stream might be behind.
When people come
And let me turn down the audio here on the stream I'm watching so I can see you here.
There's a slight lag. I noticed that too with the chats and the super chats too that sometimes come in. They come in after something's happened by sometimes 10 seconds. And I missed at the end of. I was having so much fun from Peter. I missed so many of the super chats to shout outs that people had given. So I have to make up for that today. I felt really bad. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking. This will be the one time I look right at you. Okay.
It's a strange thing to actually be talking directly to you and looking at you.
Yeah, it's different, right? I have smudged here. Somebody said that I should put I should put something over the web camera on the computers. I don't know why. They said if you have a hacker or someone has put a virus, they can use your webcam. So I freaking out and I put something on there, but it's kind of left
Yeah,
some residue. Yeah. So that was great. The live stream that I'm gonna look this way from now. The live stream that you so you're only gonna see the back of my head maybe, but what?
Look at the side.
Yeah. So I got more questions for you than maybe you have for me. Why don't you go first if you have any? You asked a question in the beginning.
Yeah, I'll just ask it. I've got it up here. I'm just going to read it out.
Okay.
So for those thinking of moving to Japan, I'm wondering, can you recommend resources for learning how to set up things like finding an apartment and turning on utilities and the internet, getting health care, and registering with the city where you live? And also, how do they accommodate those who don't speak English? Or we don't speak Japanese.
Yeah. Oh man. Man, and Soler's, who we were just talking to, would be the perfect person to talk because he just arrived and had to do a lot of these things. I should.
Maybe I should connect with him at a later date.
Yeah, we'll have to do a live stream and do like a comprehensive. That'd be a great reason to meet up as well. Do a live stream and do a comprehensive look back on what you have to do when you move to Japan for the first time. I have my take, but now it might have changed. So, there's so many things that when you move to Japan or any other country for the first time, there's so many things that you have to do to settle in. And the first thing I do is I got a Japanese hanko, and then I got a bank account. Without a bank account, you can't set up services like a cell phone and rent an apartment. So there's sort of steps that come first for everything. The bank account, you need a tsucho or a bank book, and then that's like a passport to enter into services. And if you don't have that, then you have to use your work contract in order to the work contract. And I'm going back. You had so many things in that question. I'm actually going back to your question inside the inside the Patreon. There was the first one too. Okay, I got it right there. Resources for learning how to set up. Now, to learn how to do it, actually, hold on a second. I think I have here, right here. I was going to do a live stream on this when I saw your question. I'm holding it up to you so you can see it right now.
Uh-huh.
So this book, Guide for Everyday Living, and it's produced by my ward, Chuo Ward. So there's a ward office. I got it on the Skype for you now. There's a ward office, and then each ward office will have a book like this. It's thick.
Wow.
It's thick, and it's the great thing about it is that it's in 4 languages, too. So it's in Chinese, English, a Japanese, English, Chinese, and Korean. And it has everything in there, like everything you need to do. Where are the hospitals? What are the counseling services? The hotlines for foreigners in case of emergency? What to do in the case of an earthquake? Entertainment and education. What each ward offers in terms of Japanese lessons, services. There's a section on everyday life, which answers discarding workplace garbage, how to recycle. Everything is in here. Rules for everyday life. Garbage is first. Garbage is so important in Japan. Garbage and recyclable resources for households. Where'd it go? Yeah. So everything is in this book, which is incredible that they have it. I was surprised when I moved here. How many new resources there are at the city office.
Yeah, I wonder if I can get that sent.
Yeah, we can. We'll see a way to try to do that. I was gonna do actually a live stream on a rainy day. There's a reason to stay in. It's like it hasn't been raining for a while, and then go through this book and then talk about some of the things for everyday life. Because your question is one that everybody asks. Everybody asks about this question that are thinking about moving here, and actually the answers sometimes will make the decision whether or not you want to move here. Because there's a lot of things that you don't know before you come here that are difficult and challenging. Like garbage, they are actually like military regime with garbage here. separating it. And I think that's great because sometimes you have to be like that in order to get people to understand how important it is with Japan. But with garbage, it's crazy. If you make a mistake, your neighbors let you know. It's crazy. Knowing where the local hospitals are. The second thing that I do after I get a bank account, I always get a cell phone. They want 2-year contracts, but now there's so many different options. After that, I set up the cell phone. I get business cards made. You need to have business cards. I have lots of business cards. I have one. I'm a member of an NPO, so I have an NPO business card. I have an Only in Japan business card. I only give them out for business situations. If I meet people in the street, I'm making up a "you found me" on a live stream business card. Like, business cards are the first thing, and you have to get them at Japanese size. Don't get them at the US size. You have to get them in Japanese size, which is like I think it's like 92 millimeters by 51 millimeters. I use a site called Meishi21, which is all Japanese. But I also ordered my postcards from here. And let me see here. Meishi21 is the one. And I design it all in Photoshop. The business card is the most important thing that you can get in Japan. Everybody needs to have them. And if your big company doesn't have them, you should make up your own. Yeah, 91 millimeters by 55 millimeters. And when you design it yourself, you should leave 2 millimeters extra, 93 by 57. It should be that big, and then the 91 by 55 is the actual size. I always get and the quality of the paper is important to the Japanese as well, of course, but it's not as important to most people, but some people will feel the paper. So if my card's made from a plastic that doesn't get wet because when I'm traveling the show, stuff gets wet. So yeah, having that. I don't know. There's so many different parts to your question. The healthcare, usually when you register, and how do they accommodate those who don't speak Japanese? There's usually somebody now who speaks English in all of the prefecture wards, but I think we look at it the wrong way. I think it's important for you to find somebody who can speak Japanese and go with them, and then to translate all of this for you, because we kind of have a different approach. If you can't speak Japanese, bring someone who can, and that's always been my thinking when I go into these government offices. If I can't deal with them, and that was a reason for me to learn Japanese. If I can't deal with it, bring somebody from my office, bring a friend who could help to translate with me, because don't expect an English speaker to be there, and don't be upset if there isn't either, because in America there's not that many non-English speakers in government offices, so it's like that in most countries. However, if you come here to live in Japan, usually you're employed to do so, or you have connections, which is how you got the work visa to begin with, and it's your workplace that feels responsible for you. So your moving to Japan is usually quite smooth. To move in. Mine was with the English school, and it was so smooth. Everything was done for me. My taxes are done for me, Vern. Usually your company will do your taxes for you. You don't have to do anything. All you do is probably sign a piece of paper, and you'll often get money back, but the company takes the taxes out for you, and then you get a paycheck from them. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I liked working at the English school. Once I quit, I had to do everything myself, and it's really hard. I have to do my company's taxes, because I have my own company in Japan, and then I have to do my own private taxes, and February is a very painful month for me. It's very, very painful, but I've done it so many years now, it's not as painful as the first couple of times. You get used to it. Gosh, the last thing I think the first thing that you have to do after you set up all this stuff, the first thing you do now on arrival is to get that Gaikokujin Toroku Shoumei Sho, or the foreign residence card. that the foreign residence card is the first thing that you get. I believe you had to register at City Hall and it would take a while to get it, but I believe they give it to you upon arrival now. It's really fast. And without that card, it's hard for you to set up services because you can't use your passport as a means to say that you're a resident. You need a residence card. And when I first came here, it used to have a fingerprint on it, which is kind of somewhat degrading. They may fingerprint you when you came into the country. They stopped doing that. They fingerprint you anyways digitally when you enter Japan anyway, so they get you another way. But the residence card is you have to get that. And then you go to City Hall, and that's the first thing you do is you go to your ward office or your city office, depending on, it's a ward office in Tokyo. You don't go to the Tokyo City Hall. I live in Chuo Ward. I used to live in Edogawa Ward, so I would go to that office. There's one. And you'd register there for your health insurance, or your employer would have already done it for you. And then you get a health insurance card. And from that card, you have to show them, and then all of the rates are subsidized massively. It's usually just for a checkup $10 to go in for anything. You'll pay sen hachiju yen, 1,080 yen, for any services, and there might be a little bit more if you gave a little bit more services, but it's never more than a couple thousand yen. The medicine is also sometimes free through the health insurance. Yeah, so you won't get killed if you get sick in Japan. It's a system works pretty good. The system might not. It works for everybody because you shouldn't get medical services and then get a bill for $100,000 and not have had a choice on what they were doing to you. They don't do that here. You won't get a bill like that. You'll get it'll be like $5,000 or something and be highly subsidized. So that's sort of the way it works. So I'm really happy to pay my health insurance, even though it's not cheap. I think but it's not expensive. I think for U.S. standards, I think I pay about $320 a month right now for health insurance, and I'm happy to pay it because I know it's a good system that works, sort of. I don't know if it's going to go bankrupt, but you don't think about that with health, you know? How do you keep the prices down? Do you have any other follow-up questions? I'm a misguided man. I go off.
Oddly enough, the one question you said, some of the question was, as an expat, are you having to pay taxes for both Japan and the U.S.?
It's funny though. I don't qualify to have to pay taxes. All of my money goes through my business, so I don't qualify to have to pay taxes. I don't make that much money. I never really earn it. A lot of it are business expenses. I don't pay U.S. taxes. But if you make a certain amount of money as an expat, then you have to file for taxes. I actually just have never filed. And I probably should have. I have friends that file every year, and then friends that have never filed because they've been living here for so long. They just stop filing because they don't owe anything. That's wrong too. You have to file every year. I know that. But I just haven't filed for a long time. I don't know. I pay just the Japanese taxes, and I pay a lot, actually. You pay the government. There's the government taxes. There's the sales tax is going to be 10%. In August or October this year, it's going to go up. And then, so there's that, the sales tax. And then there's the government tax, which I pay for my business. And then more than I do for myself. And then there's the local tax, which is usually like $4,000 or $5,000 a month now, depending on how much that you make. So yeah, it's usually like 1.5 or 2 months of your monthly salary or something. Which is another reason why if you're working as a freelancer, you should always have a kojin jigyo. A kojin jigyo is a sole proprietorship. It's a small company. And having a kojin jigyo means you can write off expenses, meaning that you can keep your taxes a little bit lower. But if you make money with your kojin jigyo, you got to pay taxes on that, you know. But it's different kind of taxes. You can write stuff off as business expenses. Which are tangible to your business. You can't just do it for everything, but it just depends on your business. But setting up a kojin jigyo, maybe the second year that you're living here, you set up a business, and then that's when things start to make a little bit more sense. Setting up my business was the best thing and the worst thing that I did. It was the best because it opened me up to a completely different culture of Japan that I wouldn't have if it didn't have a company. I wouldn't be able to make contracts directly with other businesses because it's company to company stuff, business to business. But also the amount of work tripled, quadrupled. It's amazing how much work, but then it becomes just a habit. The new stuff is hard to learn, but then you get used to it, and then things get a lot easier. But you have to learn the steps when you wait tables, in a restaurant. You have to learn the steps when you run a business, and it's always kind of hard to do it yourself. But yeah, this is something I think I would do in a live stream to help you out a little bit more, to go through this book maybe a little bit slower. But it's like a small phone book. In fact, the phone books are thinner these days. The phone books used to be this big when I came to Japan. They're this big now. Nobody wants to advertise in the phone book, but it's sort of like this. It's pretty good quality paper too. But every ward has them, and every ward's rules are just slightly different. But they're all, in general, they're all about the same. Yeah, boy, there's getting driver's license. There's so many different things that you have to do when you come here to set up your life. But once you do it quickly. Do it all, just dedicate 2 or 3 days to just setting up everything. And once it's set up, it just runs. You're just happier for the rest of your time living in Japan. If you don't set it up, it just lingers. Yeah, the sooner the better. Like getting a cell phone, do it like the first day. Because then you have a number to write down, and all the other services that you sign up for, you can sign up with your number. That's why I always, after I get the residence card, I get the phone number. Because I don't want to give my workplace phone number. Yeah, you can even do it at getting a SIM card at the airport on arrival. There's Docomo, SoftBank. You can sign your contract as soon as you enter into the country now. It's crazy. Yeah, you got to be connected to the internet too. So then you have translation services, and you can translate stuff for yourself as well. Yeah.
I tell you, that's been all that information is so helpful, and I really do appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and thanks for showing us Los Angeles the other day. That was really cool. Do you have any other live streams planned?
I do, but I don't want to say anything yet because, like you, I'm trying to plan things and make sure. Oh, I just lost something. You're still there, I guess. What happened there? I lost. There you go. Yeah, I have some ideas, but I want to work them out. So just like when we did Los Angeles, it was like 2 weeks earlier. We went to Little Tokyo. We scouted it out. We decided where we're going to go. We tested the camera. We did a live stream that was private. And okay, so now I've got through the first step of actually doing it live, and I tell you, it's a lot harder than it looks. Trying to hold the camera, think on your feet, and be interesting and not look like an idiot.
And if you do, you just go with it. It's harder than it looks. So many things can go wrong, too, that you don't anticipate. And when things go wrong, how do you react to that? And that's been a learning experience. It's changed the way I speak, the way I look at life as well. And I don't worry too much about stuff after live streaming, because I know, like yesterday, the live stream was a complete disaster. And people will be freaking out. Wow, you just had 500 people and you canceled the stream, and people were freaking out and they don't know how to say, oh, okay, just start a new one. There's nothing you can do about it. You just kind of go along with it. Yeah, but being funny, you just be yourself, and that's the thing. The thing with live streaming is you can't fake it, right? You can't fake it either. You just have to be yourself, and either people like you or you don't. And if they don't, that's fine.
Yeah.
If they do, that's even better. It doesn't matter. But you keep on doing it. I was amazed at, this is kind of where I get my thinking on this. I remember seeing a performance, a show, where everyone was dancing, and the dancers were all smiling. And I said, they can't be that happy. They can't be that happy dancing, and they're concentrating on their moves. How could they be smiling all the time? And then that was a very important part of the performance. You always have to be, even though you're thinking and things are going wrong, you still always have to remember that there's an audience there, and through your facial reactions, they react to you. So I always have that in mind. Those dancers that are up there dancing, like Kanai, when the little kids are dancing, they're looking like this and they're dancing. They're cute because they're kids, but they've got such immense concentration and they don't realize what they look like. And I have to realize when I'm live streaming what I look like, and make sure that it just goes smoothly even when things go wrong. The show must go on, and it's kind of it's so much fun to do the live streams for me. It's not a job at all. It's just fun to share and take everybody with you, right? When you're in Los Angeles, that was so cool.
It's really neat because that interaction between yourself and your viewers, and you're trying to read those chats, and oh my God, do they go by fast? And I only had a handful of people. You've got hundreds. I don't know how you do it.
I have moderators. That's how I do it. And our moderators do such a wonderful job. Without the moderators, I don't think it would be as easy. And the moderators will thank people for me. They'll do things that I miss. But
yeah,
it's the hardest thing. The hardest thing is to balance it all, because there are so many questions coming in. I just simply cannot answer it. So what I do is I know that people are watching live, and I can react to it. But you can't be reactive to just the chats. I almost ignore the chats sometimes, and I focus on what's around me, because I know that people are watching. The show must go on. It's either a question and answer, or it's a live stream. I don't think you can really do both. When What's Inside, my friends from What's Inside, they got like 7 million subscribers. They do the live stream. It's like it's insane. But theirs are always question and answer, and I said, why don't you ever not do it as a question and answer? Why not just ignore the live stream? The questions, answer some of them, but keep it based on what's going on, because people are interested in what you're doing, and watching it live is different. Anyways, you don't have to always react to the chat. The chats are reacting to each other. there's like stuff going on in there. So it's
that's a very interesting point, and that's one of the things that really got me hooked on watching your program, was becoming part of the community.
Yeah.
And starting to talk, chat with people, and I was just kind of shooting off the gun there. And next thing you know, people were like responding back, and I got to know some of them. Next thing you know, I've met Sunny, and I've met JKO, which is Jeanette, and now I'm doing live streaming. I would never consider doing live streaming if it wasn't for your show.
Don't wait. I'm really happy to hear that, but just do it. This is how I learn. You just throw yourself into it. You make mistakes, and you do it better the next time, and then you can even learn to love it. But I think it's so great because you took me to Los Angeles, and I've only been to LAX. I've never been outside, but for Kanai, she was fascinated seeing Little Tokyo. Like, whoa, they got like stuff like in Japan, the US. I didn't know that, because they only have like Chinatown in New York City, but Japan is more represented in California than in New York. So that was really cool for her to see that, and you took us there, and that was awesome. So I'm like, you got to do more of this, and get Sunny and get Tasty. And Tasty is so good with talking in front of the camera. She wrote in she didn't see the live stream. She couldn't see all the questions coming up. But I think if you're watching the live stream too, and you have that on, then you have two monitors as well, because I know it's hard to do it. But the one thing I learned is, right now I'm holding the camera. I always have to hold the camera and swing it around, because the YouTube app, the microphone is only right here. So that's why I have this. Can you see my camera here, Ver?
Yeah.
I have the wide angle lens on it. I'm swinging it around, but
I see it.
Yeah, and that's because.
And I understand that now, because that was the mistake I made on that first live stream. Was thinking there was a microphone. I figured, well, camera on both sides, microphone on both sides. No, that's not the way it works.
No, and you just learn by listening to it back, listening to what you recorded, and then you can learn from that and go, wow, I could have done this better. I could have done that better, and then it all balances out. I watched back the live stream with me and Peter, and we've been doing this so many times. It's just like natural. We're just having fun. Seriously, it's not even a live stream. We're just out there having fun, and we don't think about the people looking at us anymore. We're focused on each other, and eating and just talking, and it's so natural. I love it. That's why I was watching it back and I was laughing at myself because it just seems we had a fun time, and the live stream is something you can't fake though, and you have to be you really have to be enjoying yourself because viewers can smell crap along. They can smell it if it stinks, but that's why I think Sunny was really good on it because she's just speaking.
Oh.
She's really good at this, and I think when you have people that are really good at it, you take that. That's why you're representative of who your friends are, right? So you take a lot away from that. So I think I'm sure some amazing stuff's gonna rub off from Sunny, and that was great to see. Yeah,
she knows so much about that area and all the different restaurants and all the little shops and who owned them, how long they've owned them. She's really sharp.
Yeah, very, very sharp. And I did find this mask. It's coming. It's not a wonder. I'm looking for better ones. I actually even folded it in half to see if it would fit in an envelope. But I have another one of these, so I might just send it all as a kit, and then I hope it arrives in time too, by the way. But yeah, very, very sharp, and it was really informative.
And I may say, I also want to...
So you did your homework. You did your homework. Yeah.
She did. In fact, she had written out information on, I think, about 3 sheets. Now, she didn't have to use them very much, but she would check them maybe...
We're talking about you, Sonny. Yeah. Well, cool. If you get... I'm going to try to see as many of the live stream as possible. Actually, February is going to be super busy. I'm going to be away a lot, but I'm always going to try to tune in to UFO Bob and catch you guys live. So keep doing it, and I'll try to put some stuff in Sunny's boxes too, to help the live stream. And I saw Matsumi there as well, and that was pretty awesome too.
Again, that's one of those amazing things. Now, I've seen you photobomb almost every live stream you've had for the last 2 or 3 months.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I never expected to get it on my first video.
Yeah, there you go. Matsumi found you, and I'll see Matsumi in February. She's making a trip to Japan. Yeah, that's really great. I knew she was a California girl, so I knew she was in the area. But that was great to see the picture of everybody there.
Well, we exchanged contact info, and I'm hoping she'll be in one of the live streams in the future.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, not everybody is comfortable on camera.
That's
And
true.
So
yeah.
That's the one thing I have to be aware of. JKO, okay, Jeanette. She's a little more reserved. Myself or Sonny, we're both extroverts, and she was like perfect for being like the navigator. She had the phone and she was checking the messages and responding and
the organizer, the moderator, the organizer. Yeah. That's important. It was a good team. It was a good team. I'm like, Jeanette, talk more. Tell us more about your experience. If people are there, people want to hear from the people that are there. Sometimes my guests don't speak enough, and I hear it from the chats later on, or the messages. Why didn't you let them speak more? It's like, well, actually, Kanai didn't want to speak more. She's kind of shy. Kanai's kind of shy too, and people are asking about where is Kanai. Kanai has a job, and Kanai is not a YouTuber. Kanai doesn't really want to be that much on the YouTube streams. This is not what she does. So when she's not supposed to be in every single one. And I bring her back food and things from the live streams anyways. I try to bring back gifts from that. I think it was Tim who gave me super chat for flowers, and I came back with flowers. So yeah, that's always nice. So it's even the viewers are looking out for me too, making sure that I bringing stuff home for Kanai as well, right? So that's always an important part of it. But yeah, just be yourself. And I thought that was a really great live stream, and I was so thankful that you shared a piece of Los Angeles with us, and I'm looking forward to more of it. Did you have any more questions? Short ones, because I have to get back.
I've been up here far too long, and I'm sure there are other people who need to get on and have questions to ask, and I've taken up too much of your time and the viewers' time. But I appreciate the opportunity to interact directly like this with you.
No, I appreciate the support, Vern. Thanks so much for everything that you do. Excuse me, I need some coffee. But thanks for everything that you do, and for helping out in the chats. I appreciate it. You were kind of like a moderator for the main channel moderator when I did that.
I think myself as a booster.
We were so worried that there'd be like a bazillion people watching the main channel live stream when it would turn to 1 million, that no notifications went out, and there was actually like 100. There were less people on the main channel live stream than there are on an Only in Japan Go live stream, which I thought was really weird. But we were ready for the worst.
30 in California.
Yeah, the timing was not good, and just so everybody knows, I was not happy about doing that live stream. It was so stressful because everyone was telling me, you got to live stream when it get to 1 million. And I'm like, really? So for like an entire day, I stopped what I was doing and I'm looking at this subscriber count. And I was like, I just want to get this over with. I just want to move on from this. So everyone's like, congratulations. It's like, congratulations and thank you. I'm done with this 1 million thing. Let's just move on and get on with it. But I didn't know where I was gonna be, and I couldn't be just in my apartment. I actually wanted to make a reservation at a yakiniku wagyu restaurant to celebrate in style. I was gonna wear a necktie and a suit. Every restaurant, and it just happened to be on a Saturday night, and every yakiniku restaurant was booked solid, and I couldn't get a reservation anywhere. So I just said, sushi's on mine. It's open. No permission. Just went and kanai wanted sushi. She gets what she wants. Yeah. But the Only in Japan Go now, YouTube knows that this is only a live stream channel, Only in Japan Go. So I think they prioritized and they've changed the way that they kind of give out notifications. Maybe things are getting faster. But I know YouTube uses, in Japan, a lot of the app is created in Japan, believe it or not. The engineers, a lot of it's done here in Japan. The teams are all over the world, but a lot of it is done here. So I talked with the engineers who do the YouTube app. And I told them they gotta separate it. They just put too much stuff on one plate, and a live streaming app would stop it from crashing and help us to get back onto the app, because there's just too much stuff on there. The reason they put the app and the live streaming all in one is because if they separate it, then they feel like it's not inclusive enough, and people won't live stream because it's not on the app. And I think that they're now at a point where there's a lot of people live streaming. They should do something dedicated. So I'm working with them. Only Japan Go is a channel that YouTube is using as sort of learning about live streaming and the platform. So the more subscribers we have on Only in Japan Go, the more YouTube takes it seriously and the more of a voice I can to help to change the platform, actually. So because now we have like 125,000 subscribers, it's such enough power that I got someone's ear at YouTube. Where I can change things. There's one guy, a Japanese guy, who I talk to and he takes notes. And he does what he can, and he's frustrated as me because there are other people also working on the app, and he has to put his live streaming platform input in. So it's cool because the more subscribers the channel comes, the more I can have an impact on listening to you and changing stuff for the better. Which is I'm pushing a lot harder to get to Peter to get to 10,000 subscribers, Jennifer to get to 10,000, Kevin to get to 10,000, all my friends. I can kind of use what I have and to help my friends, and I think that's really makes me feel good. Vern, thank you.
Thank you, and yeah, I'll talk to you again sometime soon.
You got it, buddy.
Okay, see you later.
Vern, that was Vern. Does anybody else want to call in? I got a couple of minutes. We'll give it 5 stars. It's pretty good. I'll give it a couple more minutes. I see Tasty's on here as well. If you do have any questions, and you want to get the Skype login, if you're a Samurai supporter, you can direct message me, and I will send you the address to call me on Skype. Yeah, it's kind of neat to be able to. I can't go to meetups all the time, but I can't do meetups all the time, but through Patreon, it's a good way where everybody can contact me. Wow, I'm still waking up. If you have any questions, I will take them via... JK Adventures, congratulations on 1 million. Thank you. And I'm so happy that it's over. Does a business need a hanko? Yes. Business needs a hanko. You need more than one hanko, actually. trying to find it. You know who that is. We know who that is.
Hello, John.
There he is, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. Congrats on 1 million subscribers.
Thank you. I'm going to be looking this way, so there's going to be delay, but you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you okay.
Okay. So, Sonny, I'm going to get to you after Jim, okay? We got everyone calling at the same time. We got Jim full screen here. Jim was our first and original moderator. You were the first moderator, right?
I'm not sure. I think Nosh was maybe a little bit before I was. I can't
Okay,
remember.
I remember it was like around the same time, but the two of you were main moderators, and we added Tim a little bit later on, and all three of you now working. How's that going now? Do you think we should add another moderator?
I think it would be helpful if there was another moderator from a different time zone.
Right.
I think that would probably be most helpful because a lot of us are kind of either at the same time zone or near the same time zone. So it would be nice if there would be someone, let's say, from Europe or around there to cover the live streams that are done for what would be for us odd hours.
I found somebody in Ireland who might be able to do it. Sasha, if you're watching, I'll be in touch. But it depends on availability. So yeah, I think having somebody in different time zones for sure. Tim is a warrior though. Tim is like up in the middle of the night. I don't know how Tim does it, but I have so much respect for Tim and what he does. I'm afraid to ask. I'm always afraid to ask. What's your question? This is gonna be.
Okay. Well, now that you have 1 million subscribers and you launched your main channel now almost 6 years ago.
I know.
So my question is, what do you suppose are the most valuable things that you learned since you first launched the main channel? Wow. What would you say are the most important things that you've learned?
Wow. I learned to separate the channels. I learned that not every single person likes the same kind of content. And just because it's on the channel doesn't mean it's going to do well. You have to be consistent and stick to what the people who like, and be somewhat experimental. Not everybody liked the 360 videos either. I tried to separate it, and then that channel has viewers, and focus on what. Wow, there's so many things I want to say, Jim. I learned also that you have to keep the quality high and always improve. The channel is always in an evolution. That means it's a living thing to me, a channel. There are always new YouTubers, and the channel always has to renew itself as well. So you can't get comfortable in a way. You always have to grow. And it's more obvious, I think, after 2 or 3 years, you could see, okay, now I have to improve. The narration's getting better. The quality, the storytelling, the cuts are getting faster. It's getting a little bit more interesting. The topics are getting deeper. I've been able to listen to the feedback and then find out how to make the stories better and deeper. And say, oh, I should have done that. Now I can go back and maybe do it. Do the things that I would have missed 5 years ago that I'm now doing now. I think I'm doing a lot better job with that. I still miss stuff, but it's inevitable. You can't record everything. The bigger that the channel has gotten, the more access I'm getting to stuff, which is great. Exclusivity is something people want to see. They don't want to see just my experience. They want to hear a story and get background behind it. Making sure I only put up the best stuff is also something that's important. You can't just throw something up to make money. People know that. So you have to put up some stuff that, it's not about the money. And if you do it like this, then the channel grows and you will get money. You don't do anything for the money, but if you do it well and you do it interesting, then the money will come naturally. And that's... The good thing about meeting with the other YouTubers, the ones that are successful think the same way that I did, and the ones that are not, they're all trying too hard to do things that will be popular. And the other YouTubers that are just doing it their way, and have a really focused on the quality, their channel is growing so much, and the other people that are trying too hard, their channels are kind of flat. And I think I learned from the good people and stopped learning from the bad people. But I always have my own instincts on this. Just be yourself, and I also learned that there's the biggest thing of them all, and the last thing, I was saving it because I knew that something like this would be coming up. There's a huge, this is the most important thing. The more the channel has grown, the more the responsibility I feel it has become. And I can't make a mistake. If I make a mistake, it can have repercussions with information. I have to check everything twice, like Santa on his list. You might get it wrong. Little Jimmy might not have been naughty all the time. You should always check your list twice. He might have done a lot of good stuff too, right, little Jimmy? That deserves a present. So I have to double check everything, but that also means that videos will be later, which also means I have to build a team. So I can't do everything myself anymore because there's too much on the line. And the larger that the channel gets, the more I have to change, which I also try to fight because I don't want to change anything either, because it's really been a great recipe too. So I have to find a way to balance everything without disturbing the channel. But I know that that's what I've learned though. The more the channel grows, the more my responsibility is, not just to the viewers, but to my community where I live, and to YouTube as well as a platform. I can't mess this up, because we see what happens with some YouTubers. They screw it up, and they screw up the platform, and they screw it up for every other creator. So people watching only Japan also watch other creators in Japan. I know that everyone who's subscribed is subscribed to at least 2 other Japan-based YouTubers, or maybe at least 1. They're interested in Japan. And if I mess things up, I mess things up for my colleagues that are also YouTubers. The competitiveness is there, but we're not enemies by any means. We know each other, and we respect each other as colleagues, I think. That's another thing that I learned. The other YouTubers that I see that might be stealing my ideas, they're just trying to build their own channel, and they're also resources for me as well. So I try to make friends with everybody. And then when I need help, those people that I could have gotten angry at end up being resources for me too. Does that answer?
Yeah, absolutely. That's very, very interesting. I guess maybe to follow up, you say that your channel needs to evolve, and you need to do things at times to maybe make things a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, maybe this year specifically, do you have any changes that you would like to make, in your work this year specifically that you have in mind?
Wow. I have to balance my time better, because I know that if I don't give enough to Kanai and to family life now, then it's not going to be good. YouTubers can get very passionate. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I can get lost in this world of YouTube. And remember, not everything is meant to be live streamed. Not everything is meant to be told. And I have to stop and make time for family, and realize that, I want to go and not be late, but this, and I don't want to disappoint my viewers, our audience, our community. But at the same time, I also remember I have to balance out my time better. And I didn't do as well a job as I could have done in 2018, and I'm trying very hard to do it. That was one of the reasons why Kanai and I took the trip at the end of the year, because I knew that you can feel it when your time is unbalanced. At least I can feel the force, and I know, look, all right, it's time for us to take a 3-week holiday somewhere and just kind of tune it out, and then just have our own time. Even though I live stream some of it, because you can't give up everything, but we made a lot of time for ourselves, and that was really important to me. So to do that's probably the biggest thing. 2019, right now, the support is almost more than I feel like I deserve or need. But with that, I'm now finding ways to set up this. The biggest thing that the support has helped me do is to make sure that the channel survives and competes and are going to be around for 2021, 2022, because I don't want this ever to end. YouTube channels they go in hiatuses or they stop at the end, and I'm using the money to try and make sure that it never does. I'm trying to find editors and people to make sure I do. I notice that if I forget something that was human, if I forget something that typical humans forget, I hear it from everybody. I get criticized a lot easier, more, and nobody likes that, but I take it better now. I don't see it as the end of the world, but I also know when to reach out for help. Like when I was doing this DVD project for Kickstarter, which is really behind, it got really behind. I learned to ask for help. These are a lot of these situations I'd never been in before, to reach out to people and understand it's not the end of the world. Most people are forgiving, but you still have to find ways to remedy this and grow as a person. When you have a challenge, you have to grow from that. That's just what you have to do. And 2018 was the toughest year in my life, maybe. It was the best and the worst. You know, you have years that are so pivotal. That was 2018 to me. So many things I wanted to forget, and so many things that I will always want to remember. And a lot of them, people are going like, "What is he talking about?" Some people know what I'm talking about. Some people don't. But I had a pretty tough 2018. Yeah, 2019 is a year to grow from there. I don't know. These are such deep questions. I always learn from your questions too, Jim.
Great. I'm glad that I can be of help.
In more ways than you know, maybe. Because in Japan, when we have conversations in Japan, typically they're very topical. You don't get deep into the stuff. It doesn't make me think. Your questions always make me stop and reflect on how I could do things better, and reflect on things that I'm missing out on too. And I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for the work you're doing. And I'm always looking forward. I don't want to give too much of the news that we talk about in our emails, but I'm really happy for the success that you, like this year and last year for you too, has been a complete change as well, from 2017 to 2019. Like completely different. And yeah, we're all looking forward to seeing you in Japan too. I would love to see that. We've met Nosh. It's time to see Jim. So I'm hoping we get some gym time here in Japan.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see what I can do to make that happen. And I really look forward to visiting Japan, when it becomes possible.
Absolutely.
It's definitely on my list for things to do. Absolutely.
Well, I'll be here, and I'm looking forward to that. Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome. Good seeing you as always, John.
Jim's awesome. You always feel good after talking with Jim. I know I talk way too much, but it's always feel good when I talk to Jim. Jim makes me think about stuff that I was thinking about, but Jim, when you think about it and when you say it out loud, it's different, And so I like it when Jim calls in. It's kind of gives me another way to see life. See life. That's what they're seeing. My messy set of shelf.
Hey, John.
Hey, Sunny. How are you?
Oh, I should have put it on video. I forgot to put it on video.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. It's up to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to say hi.
I'm like, Sunny, I know Sunny's watching this, and here we are, me and Vern are talking about you, and we're like, yes, I know. Watch what you say. Sunny's listening. I know Sunny's right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I added in. Did you get your Daimyo package?
No, not yet. We had the Martin Luther King holiday last Monday, so I think it's delayed in the mail.
Okay. All right. So I found this the other day, and I found another one. It has directions on it too in Japanese in the back, and I'll send.
I can't Japanese.
Yeah. But the instructions are pretty clear. It's graphical. You wear the mask, and kids throw this at you. Do you see it right there?
Okay, I'll find some kids.
or you find some adult like kids like myself.
Okay,
and then
I can do that.
they take the beans and they chase you while you wear the mask. And this is like Japan's Groundhog Day. Setsubun is Japan's Groundhog Day. And I think I might have sent you these, which are the I think I might have sent other people these, which are the
I like Hello Kitty.
yeah. But these are but Hello Kitty is the demon, don't you see? So you have to throw it in.
That's not right.
I know, it's evil.
That's not right at all.
So I'll send this to you as a kit just so you have all of them, and hopefully it arrives by.
Thank you so much.
And I'll see if I can find some masks as well. So Vern, you guys have some material for live streaming. I'll see if I can find some masks to send.
Actually, I kind of like the face mask that PVG was wearing.
Yeah, well, okay, I'll see if I can add that in the next box. Those masks, I didn't know about them. They're brand new, so I might do live stream introducing them. You can
those are cool.
Machine
Those are
washable.
really cool.
That's like big, right? It's like what?
I sent you a package like on January 15th. Did you receive it?
Where'd you send it to?
The address that was on the Daimyo box.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one goes to the post office, and the post office they don't have a PO box. So I asked the post office manager. I said, if the boxes are returned to here, will I receive it? And he says, normally yes. Normally yes. But I'm glad you told me. I'm gonna go there and ask and see if you.
Yeah, it looked like it was delivered on January 23rd.
Okay, so that was recently. So I'll go in on Monday and ask the post office if they got a package for me and how they handle it. They don't have post office boxes in Japan. And,
yeah, they need to get that. That would be beneficial for you, you know?
It would be. They also have services that I can pay for to get an address, but the problem is they're kind of far away from where I live, and I don't know how often I can go and check it. I can't use my friend Shingo's address anymore. He started getting really big packages and got in trouble. And
you've got a lot of fanatical viewers out there. You know that, Josh.
Yeah, I know. But the problem is, though, it's not even the packages. It's like I receive a lot of stuff, and I don't know what to do with it all, too. Like, we got
basically donates his stuff, or he sells it on his website.
I feel like I have to eat it all. So I think maybe a million calories of junk food came in from all over the world, and I'm like, how do I eat all this stuff? So donations might be the best way. Or yeah, right. And if you do send stuff, just send a little bit, because you realize Vaughn's was awesome, because I was able to make an entire episode out of it, and all the leftovers went to a good cause, to my hungry friends. So that was actually really good, the Tim Tam episode, because I'd never seen so many Tim Tams in one. I'm so sorry about the Tim Tams, right? That was the most.
He ended up in L.A.
The most beautiful box I ever received came from Vaughn, because I opened it up and I'm like, oh, all those colors of the Tim Tam look like DVDs, like library books. It was like, whoa, like a library of Tim Tams. It was the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen in food, Vaughn. So don't feel sorry. But it was a lot to eat, and I felt like I had to eat all of it, even though I didn't. And PVG doesn't eat a lot of junk food, so he watches what he eats. So he's more into like the organic stuff, but he'll eat cheese every now and then. Neither of us ate that colored cheese. We ended up throwing it away. It smelled.
It's so gross. Oh my god.
It was not a beautiful thing. It was like one time. This is weird. Like if people weren't supporting with super chats, like there's no way I'm gonna spend money on this. But I said, okay, this is gonna be fun for us to look at. So let's go and do it. And when we opened it up, it looked like an inkjet cartridge had been exploded. Right? It was like all black, and then it wasn't until Peter started to stretch it out that you saw the colors. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so not healthy for you. This gotta be a Brazilian. But I took a bite. We tried it out, and it like the cold made the cheese harden real fast. So melty cheese is not good in the winter unless you eat it in like 5 seconds or less.
Yeah, I like all the food videos that you did. I even like the sandwich one. The sandwich one is like my favorite one.
Yeah, I kind of have my own take on the way food videos should be done. I like to think of food as being sexy. There's something really sexy about sandwiches. And Peter did a great job with that video. I'm so glad I stopped. I said, you know what? I can't pay Peter, but I think he could do a great job with this. Let's see if he would like this opportunity. And Peter's like, yeah, let's do this. I've never done anything like this before. So he voiced over the sandwich video, and it turned out like perfect. The way he put the voice in there.
Cool.
It's better than I could have done it, although I tried to narrate. Remember the white strawberry video? I narrated that myself, thinking of the white strawberry as being something seductive, because it's so sweet. And I should have had Peter do that. Would have been better. Yeah. Let's see. We're getting some chats in here. I saw Von Gretchen's one was awesome as well. Oh, the one with Gretchen, where she called in like a year ago. Yeah. Maybe Gretchen will be on again. She's been. Yeah, I appreciate everybody in Patreon saying hi to Gretchen. I know she's enjoying being part of the community down there.
She just had her first taste of mochi.
I know.
And she put it on her Instagram account.
Did she like it?
No, she didn't.
I'm like, oh.
I like it.
But mochi's got different kinds of tastes. I think Gretchen is settled in her ways. She likes her Doritos. She likes her Monster. she knows what she likes.
Her reaction was priceless. I loved it.
Yeah, Gretchen is Gretchen. There's no getting around it. She is who she is. You could see that interaction. Yeah, no. But yeah, thanks so much for and for Anita as well for reaching out to Gretchen. It's great that the community is so connected. That makes me really happy to see. And a lot of people send her stuff. When I give the address out to the daimyo, I know that a lot of people sent stuff to Gretchen, so that was really nice. Yeah. So when you come into Japan, Sonny?
Oh, it'll be next year for sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm thinking 1 month.
Whoa! The 1 month's a good.
I have to fill up my leave credits at work, and I really want to come here. I want to go there for about a month, but it really depends because I actually work as a supervisor. I have a pretty important job. So I don't even think they'll allow me to leave for 1 month.
Wow. It sounds so,
yeah, maybe 3, but not 4.
I think some people can do that because they also work online, and they can, as long as they stay online and work, then they can get away with being here for a long time.
I'm not one of those online, so I have but that's okay. You know, if I manage to get away with 4 weeks off, I'll be happy.
Yeah, that's 4 weeks off. That's like Caroline territory. Caroline's coming for a long trip, and she's gonna see a lot of stuff. I learn a lot of stuff from Caroline because the longer you're here, the more stuff you encounter that's out of the guidebooks.
Learning a lot about traveling throughout Japan through your channel, and I have a little list of things that I want to do when I get over there. Yeah. Most of it's historical stuff. I like history.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I kind of like the background stories on the stuff that we see. A lot of tourists will walk by stuff, and if you knew the background story, it just makes everything come to life, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I look for.
Yeah. I always wished that people who sold antiques knew more of the background story on the antiques that they were selling. I think they'd sell for more, or maybe less. Maybe it's like you don't want to know the background story on everything, right? Maybe. But yeah, that's kind of been... doing the live streams has given me a chance to do content I wouldn't normally do. And I got a complaint from somebody. Live streaming is not for everybody, and that's cool. But I got a complaint from a viewer. He goes, "Will you stop doing these crappy live stream content?" And I said, "Well, look, you can subscribe to the main channel and don't watch the Go channel. That's why I separated them. But a lot of people enjoy the Go channel because I can cover topics that no YouTuber would ever cover, and focus on historical stuff that I wouldn't do on a main channel, and make it long format where I can interact with people. And if it's an hour long, you don't have to watch the whole hour. I'm always constantly clicking the fast forward button, or if you tap it, it goes ahead 10 or 15 seconds. That's cool to do that too, and get to the parts that you want to watch. That's the way people are watching YouTube these days. But because live streaming, people don't get the notifications for 30 minutes. Sometimes the live stream's got to be longer too. But there's no end to stuff to talk about. As I say,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
That's all right.
your live stream when you did the Ogasawara, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
You did the video for the main channel, but I thought your live stream over there added so much value to the video on the main channel. You know, I think the viewers don't see how it's connected. You know, but
Some
it's
of them,
so
yeah.
nice to see the production of it, and then the post production of it, and then the questions and stuff that you answer on your videos. You know, it all makes sense.
Yeah, I remember when you were watching the live streams, when you watch the main channel episode, it brings it all together too. I think then you can see
It tied everything in, and and I thought it added like 1 million, percent value to the video. Just watching the live stream and then watching the video on the main channel, it tied everything in perfectly.
You get to know, yeah, you know the content before you watch it, and it's like watching an old friend, sort of. 'Cause
Exactly.
she's going back and doing it. That's what I'm telling people on the Kickstarter that have been waiting 2 years for a DVD. It's gonna be like watching an old friend. The orange jacket's back. Yeah, but I know
that discovered you. I saw you hitchhiking with the orange jacket, and I was like, "What the hell is this guy doing?"
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That project has come to an end.
And I've been since.
Yeah, I'm at the last week of the project now, and I've been watching the video back, and it's like watching an old friend. And I'm actually glad that it in a way it's a good thing that it wasn't right after the trip. It's like, wow, there's so many. Every time I look back at when you look back at stuff, and this is when you watch a live stream and you see the main channel episode, you're looking back at it, right? And when you look back at it with this edited version, it's like almost looking at your like a wedding video. You lived it because we saw it through the live stream, and then you watch the edited version of it, and it just gives it so much more meaning, I think. So I'm glad that, and I saw UFO Bob Vern say the same thing. I'm glad that you guys take that away from it. That's sort of the intended purpose of the Go channel, to show you stuff that I wouldn't bring, and also to add value when I'm on location, to do stuff that I wouldn't cover, and then you'll be able to see that a little bit into the main channel episodes. So it's working. I'm glad. I'm so glad.
But thank you so much. Keep up the good work, John, and all the great content. Just keep up the good work.
Thank you, Sonny. I'll do my best. It's gonna be a very busy time, but there's so much content that I've actually already edited that's gonna be coming out. February is gonna be huge. January is not a very good month anyways, let's be honest. It's cold. The holidays are over. I'm trying to get rid of all that pizza that I ate. And sausages and beer from Germany, and wow, all the food from India. Been doing pretty good. Getting rid of that. But I appreciate so much the support, Sonny, and keep live streaming with Vern. I love to see you guys doing the thing out there with JK Adventures, and get Matsumi in on it too. Matsumi is really cool.
It's of LA that you don't know that has a lot of Japanese history, and that's the stuff that I know about, and that's stuff that I'd like to show you.
Yeah, do it. Be yourself. Do it, and I think we're all behind you too, because it was fascinating to see the architecture as well as the buildings, and then the little things like the sign up there was like over 100 years old.
There's a spot that I need to show you. Actually, if and when you and Kenai do come to LA, it's probably going to be one of the spots that you're going to visit.
I think so too. And we're kind of planning to do a West Coast swing through where I just rent or buy a car and drive through the West Coast a little bit. I don't know if it'll be I don't know when it'll be, but we will do that, because I haven't seen enough of my own country. The Grand Canyon, Las Vegas,
Yes.
Southern
Go to the Grand
California.
Canyon. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, and I want to visit friends and do meetups in that area because we have so much support. Go up to San Francisco and see our viewers up there, and I don't know enough about California because I'm a New Yorker, East Coast guy. But we have so many supporters, and this Japanese culture is so much stronger on the West Coast of the U.S. than on the East Coast.
That's very true.
Yeah, and I need to get an In-N-Out burger. I've never had one.
Now lunch.
In and out lunch, yeah. So I'm looking forward. So either I'll see you here, or you'll see me there. But we'll be meeting up pretty soon.
Absolutely. You take care. Thank you so much.
Thanks, honey.
Bye.
That's awesome. And Jim wrote in, thanks a lot for your time. Not at all, Jim. I would give you guys like 2 hours. Oh, we're 2 hours in. This is fun for me. We've been doing this for 2 hours. It's like 10. It's almost 10:30. I'm gonna take Kanai out. I think go get brunch or something. I don't know if we should go out because it's influenza weather. I'm afraid to go out, but maybe I'll take her out for brunch or something, and then yeah. I don't know. If you do have questions, or if I don't answer something, by all means, send me messages through Patreon's direct messages, okay? And I try to respond very as quickly as possible through there. And if you do send me a message, do so. I should have said this at the beginning of the live stream. Who's still watching after 110 minutes? If you do send me a direct message, try to send me a message and answer in the same stream, because if you start a new one, then I'm gonna lose those questions. They go to the bottom. That's the way Patreon's messaging system is set up. So I'll get a bunch of messages and then I'll miss what you messaged because you sent a fresh message. So try to keep it in the same one, and that goes to the top of my inbox. If you start a new one, I lose what was there. It goes into the archives. So, but I try to answer everybody. Like, I check the Patreon messages like 2-3 times a day now. So yeah, it's actually increasing, Jim, the amount of people that are watching, which is good. If you didn't want to call in and you didn't write a question, you can try to ask it through the chats again, and I will answer. Vaughn is, I think, at lunchtime now, right, Vaughn? Vaughn's at lunchtime. I'm getting hungry too. I've only had coffee for breakfast so far. Yeah, King. Oh, King, I answered your question too. You're gonna have to rewatch it. I answered your question. I believe I did, about what you needed to visit when you come to Japan in the winter. But my answer, just to sum it up, it was, King, you have to visit ryokan and definitely go to the onsen. Skiing is very popular in the winter, but it's about the winter foods. So you're going to want to eat nabe, sukiyaki, shabu-shabu, and visiting places with snow is usually really pretty. But there's no bad time to visit Kyoto. There's no bad time to visit Osaka. I think you're gonna have a lot of fun. I recommended to go to Tottori, which is Daisen on the Sea of Japan side, if you wanted to see a little bit of off the beaten path. Daisen has skiing, and it's a unique place. There's Matsue Castle. It's not that far from Osaka. Izumo Taisha, Matsue Castle. It's a castle town. There's a lake. Yonago has the Eishimo Hashi, the Sakai Minato, and Daisen. It's just stocked in that one area. So that might be something to do. Yeah, I know you're 2 hours ahead over there in Australia. And hey, Leone Pitts just woke up. What? I did go to bed at 4 a.m. I went to bed pretty late too. I went to bed and I got up I set my alarm clock at 8:18, and I had 4 or 5 minutes of snooze time, and then I got up and I quickly set up, and I was late because of the app kept crashing. But I was ready at 8:33. I was like, okay, let's go. Crash. So, slightly late. So what are you going to use the license for road trips? I have a job. Not a job, but I got permission to film the drive-through ramen. So next week I'll be doing a driving episode. I got to rent a car and drive up to Ibaraki, and it'll be next week with another friend of mine. Yeah. All right, guys. It's 7:30 p.m. in Louisiana. I need to get some dinner. I'm glad that I could do this. Taylor, thank you so much as well for the support, Taylor. It's nice to see you here. Haz, H-A-Z, So when are you gonna do it? I think I answered that. Thanks for the question. Simple question from Deborah. When I lived in Okinawa in the 70s, we were taught to answer the phone with mush mushy. Is that true today? Yes. We say not mushy, but moshi. M-O-S-H-I. It sounds like mush mushy. But I learned by living here, because I said mushy mushy like the first maybe month, and then it was moshi moshi is actually how they say it, moshi moshi. And yeah, people still answer it, moshi moshi, moshi moshi. Yeah, I answered the phone just like that too. Just like tradition, the same way we say hello maybe. Why do we say hello? I don't know. I guess because that's what we would say. But now we know who's calling. So we can just say, hey Jim, hey John, right? But moshi moshi is still the way we do it. And Deborah, by the way, I think I have, hold on a second. Deborah, I think I have your gachapon. Were these for you, Deborah? I got these like, I didn't forget, but there's like 3 other Deborahs, and I don't know if your Patreon address was the same as your YouTube address, but when you gave this super chats for the gachapon, I think I kept your gachapon. So Deborah, let me know. Nosh, did you never get yours? I'm pretty sure I sent those, Nosh. Actually. Oh my. Nosh, I remember I sent yours out, no? I know I gave you the pillow. Okay, Deborah, I did not forget. All right, Deborah, I'm glad I got you. I found you. I did not forget. I'm gonna put these in the mail. I'm gonna put these in the. I have a bazillion envelopes for the DVD project. Nosh, I know Nosh. I did get you your pillow, Nosh. And Deborah, wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Deborah, I'm not sure how to send you this. I believe this is for Deborah too. No, I don't even remember. I've been saving this as well. So I didn't forget, Deborah. I have it all here. I just was trying to track you down. So I found you. I didn't want to send it to the wrong Deborah. We have a bunch of Deborahs. So I will get that to you. So thank you for being patient. This is a long time coming. All right, I believe I got these 2, and I might throw in another one for you. I asked for it as a joke, Deborah. I know, but I want to make sure that I think it's funny though that you get it too. I think that if we want to complete the joke, you need the punchline, right? So let me get this stuff to you, and this is a reason for me to rewatch that video too, the gachapon video from before. That was kind of fun. But Nosh, I will see if. Oh, that's right. The ape one, right? So, oh gosh, I really messed that one up. Nosh. So I didn't get the. You gave the one to Nosh. I'm gonna talk to you later, Nosh, about this. I want to make sure I get this right. I sent out gachapon to Ellis. I remember Ellis had given money, and I sent that in his daimyo package, and I sent out most of the gachapon, but Deborah was tracking down. So maybe it was Deborah. Hold on a second. Does that look right, Deborah? I was to get the pig in the end. Okay, I think I might have the pig. And I think maybe this one is Nosh's. I think that's maybe what happened. Nosh gave me what he had, and then I was supposed to trade for what he didn't have, because he got 2 of 1, I think. So I'm going to get in touch with Nosh. I'm going to get in touch with you, and then Deborah will get in touch with you now that I know who I found you. And then we're going to, I was trading the gorilla for the pig. Yes! All right, I found it. All right, cool. This has been on my mind for like months since Nosh was here. So I think I figured it out now. All right, now I got it. So yes, Nosh is correct. Okay, cool. This is good to know. I'm going to get in contact with you through direct messages so I can finally put a ribbon on this one. I took those photos of the gorilla around Tokyo. I remember Nosh. I was looking for Deborah, and we found Deborah. Deborah, I don't know. I might hold on to this. I'll see if I can find a box to send this to you. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go down to the post office and see if I can send your pillow. Because I think that's gonna be really funny. That's who I promised it to. I'm pretty sure we said Deborah when I was giving it away. I think that was fun. So thanks so much for being patient, Deborah. Of course, I'm gonna say thank you because it's my fault. I remember that live stream, Rights and Tasty. Yeah, it has been a long time ago, but I never forget. I never forget. It's up to you. Oh yeah, I want you to get it. I want you to get it. That completes the joke. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Hold on a second, Leone. Where were those gachapons again? I want to get some for my brother. Oh, so I usually go to Gachapon Kaikon. I believe those the ones that I did in that episode were in Asakusa, but I go to Gachapon Kaikon usually, which is in Akihabara, because they got everything. They got everything, and I asked the manager. I haven't done a live stream at Gachapon Kaikon, just that. So I might do a Gachapon live stream maybe next week. I don't know. The thing is, yeah, I think it's time for Gachapon live stream. I haven't been there in a while, and they always get new stuff. The problem is I always spend too much money at these things, and then I have a bunch of Gachapon, and I end up giving them away. I give away all the Gachapon. So, I don't know. Yeah, so that's the place we usually go. I did a live stream. I did a main episode channel on Gachapon Capsule Toy Adventure. So you might want to check that one out. That's where I usually go because they got everything. They got everything. Great Q&A, lots of good info, and a wonderful community. Taylor, really happy to welcome you to this community. And when I go like this, it changed the screen. Look at that. Haha. Welcome to everybody. We have a lot of new members that came in. Every month, so just a little bit on the channel, just to end this really quickly. So we're at, the channel's at $4,839. I kind of made it private because I don't think, not everybody agreed, but some people didn't like having the total up there. So I said, well, I don't really mind, but I know a lot of other creators were not putting the total up there. So I said, I will once a month just tell the backers what total we are. We have 504 patrons on the channel right now, so we're beyond the 500 patrons, which was my ultimate goal. But people are always coming and going with Patreon too. I know the support is not forever, and yeah, we lost about 30 patrons last month, and then we had 31 sign up, so it stayed at the 500 level. So we're always losing people, but we're always gaining new people. So the community is always welcoming, and this is enough money to supplement, because the main channel, the frequency is not enough to make as much money as you think I should be making, which is I'm trying to get the frequency of the main channel videos up more so I can make more income. But it's Patreon that right now is pretty much supplying the travel. I get an Instagram post asking, where do you get the money to travel from? And I'm like, Patreon. Patreon. So you've made it like huge. I can just jump on a plane now and go to Miyazaki. I can jump on a Shinkansen and go down to Kyoto. I can go to the north of Hokkaido and make an episode, or go to Ogasawara for 2 weeks and film a diving episode, which cost actually a lot of money. And that's coming, by the way, in February. The scuba diving episode. So all this was made possible with Patreon. So thank you all so much for the support. I cannot say thank you enough. Which is why I will always give you my time. If you ask me in a direct mail, I will answer your questions. And I can't meet everybody when they come to Tokyo. I will try my best to, but I cannot meet everybody. But I will give you my best effort. And I know, like Matsumi, people give me like 6 months warning. That's good, but I don't know what I'm doing in 3 weeks from now. So it's just about the timing on how this all works out, because I have to keep producing the show, but I also want to meet I feel like I want to welcome everybody who comes to Japan. I wish that my office was my office should be at Narita Airport. That would be even better. That'd be even better. But yeah, Nita, thank you so much for the support. Every month, King, it just means a lot to me, and I love sending out these postcards to you, and the daimyo get the postcards too, because I write in your address, and for me it's a personal thing. I can't write the message because there's so many of them, but I put your address on there, and I sign every one of them, and I get to know your names. And that means a lot to me because I can feel connected. So I hope you do too when you get the postcards, and we do these live streams for the samurai members. I really appreciate it. All the samurai. By the way, every samurai. Where is that postcard? Every samurai got one. Got one of these. So I hope that the samurai, if you didn't get one and you were a supporter last year for 3 months or more, let me know. But everyone who was a samurai supporter by the end of 2017 got one of these to say thank you. I sent out about 850 postcards. I sent it to people who quit Patreon but had supported for a while. Everybody got a everybody who'd been supporting for a while got one of these. So I'm just really thankful for what I have. I feel the word, I guess, is blessed. You just feel blessed for what you got, and as the community grows, so will this channel, and it'll be because of our team, our community. So I take what you have to say very seriously. So hey, send me a message if you ever have any questions. Thanks so much for watching this. I gotta go. I gotta feed. Not Jennifer, but another hungry person. But I'll see you guys in the next live stream, maybe later today or definitely by tomorrow. So have a good day, have a good night. By the way, the monkey episode, there's always a by the way, isn't there? The monkey episode from Oita should be released by Monday or Tuesday. I'm just waiting for the guy in Oita to say yes, because he has influenza now, and after he gives a thumbs up, I can release it to everybody. It's a pretty good video. It's been done for a week too, by the way, just waiting for him to get better. All right, have a good day. 96% of the goal. I gotta work on that. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Bye, Bob. Tasty. Tuotaco Danny. See you, Danny. Danny, I know Danny, you're like in sub-zero weather. Stay warm over there, Danny. Hey Matsumi, I'll see you, Matsumi. I'm just going back here. Hey Tim, Deborah, look for packets coming your way, Deborah. Thanks, King, Jim, Haz. See you guys.